Shambho, Mahadev, Mahadev. So, sage Uddalaka was explaining his son Shvetaketu about the principles of the Prakriti and the creation. Even though Shvetaketu had undergone the studies under different masters on the principles of the Vedic science and the spirituality, he did not learn the relative functions or the relativity between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. And how the Jivatma is also the replica of the existence. And what are the functions, how it is related. What is the meaning of birth and death? What is the meaning of karma? The absolute relativity is not understood. Even though in principle Vedic science could be learned. It's the basis of the studies here. So you will find he is gradually taking the child through the process of the physical manifestations into the spiritual manifestations gradually. So that he is fully aware of the truth of existence. What is existence? Many people have the same question today. That's how Maharishi decided to go through this in such a manner. So the lessons what we are holding on today and few days probably, till the physical section is over, till 20th or 22nd I think. Now we are on the 6th level. This continues. So even though we have been explaining many of these things in different situations with different Upanishads explaining, you might find a lot of repetitions here and might find it very basic physical level applications. But it's better to go through it. Why? Because it goes on serially in a gradual manner. No? So long we had been explaining about we have come to the prana and how the tree was shown to Uddalaka, Shvetaketu, and said, see, anywhere you cut, you will find the sap coming. Everywhere there is life form, energy, life form, sap, whatever you call. But that which has been determined not to continue with, there it gets dried up. There's no prana in that. I have also asked you in the last session, I was telling you that how the miracle, these are the things which has to be noticed, even though we all know that, you see. There's a tree, anywhere you cut, you get a sap. Have ever anybody thought that this is the prana which is flowing throughout? And everywhere the same prana is there, it's not different. And the prana cannot be identified, it is the same. It cannot be identified that this sap is from the branch, this sap is from the stem, this sap is from the root or things like that. Prana is same everywhere. And the wonder is that which has not been projected, but it is inherent, that wherever it is not necessary, that part goes dry. It's not the whole tree goes dry. One branch goes dry. One sub-branch goes dry. One branch goes dry. As I told you last time, when the fruit is ripened, automatically after some time it has to fall down. Till then, whatever you try, it doesn't fall down. Leaf, after its life, we call it as after its life, you see, it has to fall off. There is a particular karma that has to undergo by a particular leaf. So many hours of purification of the carbon dioxide into air, as well as various functions for the purpose of the flowers and fruits and the tree. Once it is finished, it dries off. Can anybody revive it? Can anybody stop this drying? Every season we find that leaves are falling down, new leaf will come. We have taken it as natural phenomena. We don't give any more importance or never thought why this leaf is falling. Why? So long the tree stays, why not the leaf also stays? Yeah? Why? No, we have not thought of it. It's a very great study involved in it, you see. No, he is trying to talk about the death, actually, practically in this. So we will be coming to that portion. Once the karma of that particular part of the body completed, it goes off. The process of dying is also like that in a jivatma. That what is not necessary for the body, it goes off at a particular time. It is according to the karmas, sancheta, prarabdha karma. Prarabdha is again based on the physical functions. Prarabdha karma. That's why it is known as prarabdha. It's a burden, prarabdha. It's a burden. No. Whatever is a burden, see, it's a great principle behind it. It's a prarabdha to me, in an explanation, it's a burden to me. Actually, it is a burden. Why it is a burden? Why it has been named as a burden? It was an unwanted thing which I have carrying on my head. It's a burden, is it not? That what is necessary or what is to be done or what is to be seen or executed doesn't become a burden to us. But by carrying this which is of no use, it's a burden. Absolutely right. That's called the prarabdha. Because of the physical existence of the body in the previous janma, prarabdha karma basically comes because of the desires. It is because of the desires the karma has been generated, actually. If there is no desire, the karmas will not generate at all. Everything comes from the thought that has been explained. So it's a desire which is creating the karma. And desire is created by whom? By the ego. Ahankara creates the desire. When the ahankara, see, there are two sets of desires, two sets of karma, two sets of ahankara, two sets of desires. One is the ahankara which is creating the desire, and prompting to execute a karma, so that the karma is done and the result of the karma is carried by the desire, fed to the ahankara, and who satisfies in that? The ahankara gets satisfaction. When the ahankara is the one who is getting satisfaction, the karma is unfinished. You understood? Even though we call it as a karma, this karma became unfinished karma, incomplete karma. It's not complete. Whereas in a tapasvi or in any other manner, in the second category, the karma has to be completed. So, it has to. So, if the karma has to be completed, it has to be projected by a desire which is prompted by the highest consciousness or jnanam. When the jnanam projects it, or bodham, buddhi, bodham, or the consciousness, because in Prakriti also there is desire. One is known as that desire which is universal. Another is which is selfish motive. The ahankara creating a desire is only to selfish motive, in the sense to make the ahankara satisfied. Ahankara is what? Is an ignorance. Ahankara is ignorance. It's only an illusion that aham is the one. So when that ahankara is producing the desire, and that desire is culminating to create a karma, the karma is unfinished, unfulfilled, even though it appears to be fulfilled because of the ego's satisfaction. You see, it's ego satisfaction. It appears to be fulfilled, but it is not fulfilled. You are hungry, you are thirsty, you drink a glass of water, somebody asks you, is the thirst gone? Is it okay? Quenched? The thirst is quenched. What do you say? Yes. Because once the water is drawn, you have quenched the thirst. After some time, again you are thirsty. You understood now? Is the karma finished? No. The drinking has to be done again. So, you understood what I am saying? So, unfinished karmas, this is called unfinished karma. The drinking of water should be stopped at one point of time, then only the karma is complete as far as that is concerned. Whereas, a particular incident makes you drink water and you say, what do you say? Thirst is quenched. Cold water if you drink in summer, thirst is quenched. Great satisfaction. Who was satisfied there at that time? Only for the time being, for some time, to make you happy, the quenching of the thirst could be taken place, appeared to be taking place, and one is happy with that. Who is happy with that? Your ego. Your ahankara is happy with that. So, he creates what he creates? He creates unfinished karmas. If it comes from the jnanam, the desire comes from the jnanam, from the bodham, it also has through the desire, because there also the desire. That desire, when it is fulfilling a karma, who is the enjoyer? The highest consciousness is the enjoyer. When the highest consciousness or the jnanam is the enjoyer of a karma, there is no repetition of karma. It's very clear, no? There is no repetition of karma. This is why the second part of it. Because the ego will create a desire only for the satisfaction of the ego. Jnanam will create a desire for satisfaction of the jnanam, if you put the same language. What is the satisfaction of ego and what is the quality of satisfaction of the jnanam or bodham? Bodham would like to clarify the truth through the karma, and ahankara or the ego will try to satisfy the self, which is known as, we call it as selfishness, selfish motive. That's what is called selfish motive. For the purpose of the satisfaction of the ego, it is not self. Let us not translate it like that. For the satisfaction of the ego is unfinished karma. By that what happens, he gets entangled in the same karma repeatedly number of ages. When an ego projects the desire and he keeps doing karma, he keeps on doing the karma. Never ends. Because he will never find a solution out of it. He will only get that satisfaction. Even though we have explained this earlier also, but in a different way. More clarity comes here. Maharshi says that, hey Shvetaketu, for the purpose of the fulfillment of the satisfaction of the ahankara, when you execute a karma, it's unfinished karma, it will create prarabdha to you. It will create prarabdha. What is that prarabdha? An unwanted burden, I said. You remember? Yes. Because repeatedly you are doing the same thing. Not only that, doing is okay. But by that doing that, you should get a relief from that. You keep on doing the same thing. But you never get a relief out of it. Is what? It's a burden only. Whatever you do, you are not getting happiness. Whatever you do, you are not getting peace. But still you keep on doing. What is that? It's a prarabdha only. Unwanted burden. Is it not? I am carrying this in so many years, but still I don't have peace. Still I don't have happiness. So the carrying is a burden. If it was not a burden, you should have get peace by now. You should have got the happiness by now. So it's a burden. So prarabdha is a burden. Got it? Is a prarabdha? Is a burden, unwanted thing, is it not? Why prarabdha has come? Because of your decision decided by your ahankara to execute your karma through generated by ahankara and executed through the desires to fulfill the ahankara. Desires to satisfy the ahankara, That is called a prarabdha. It's called prarabdha karma. We keep on repeating, that's why they said that, no? Such karmas you have to keep on repeating till you resolve them. In order to resolve them, we have to understand what is that self, what is that ahankara, and what is that desire, and what is the karma. Through jnanam, it has to be derived. We all think that the tree is blooming, tree is fruiting, and we are getting the fruits. Tree is keeping the leaves live, and the leaf is falling down. We keep on seeing at it. And the process repeats. Who does all these things? It is not the tree who is doing it. The tree, as it is an external form, which is a sthula bhava of the tree. What is the sukshma bhava in the tree? That sap what is coming, or that prana that is there, that is the one who is creating the tree branches, who is making the leaf, who is making the leaf fall, who is making the flowers, who is giving the fruit. Everything is done by whom? By that prana which is flowing inside the tree. It's not the sthula sarira. So what happens? if the tree is getting ahankara of enjoyment of the fruit, it will be a prarabdha. But if he understands it is the prana or the atma that is creating the fruit and the flowers, he will have the detachment to his flowers and the fruits, and he will not enjoy the fruits of him, whether it stays on him or whether it has fallen down from him. The tree has no difference, is it not? Tree kept on giving you fruits for so many years without any deviation. Why? Because it did not have any attachment to the fruits which has come in that, the fruit which has fallen from there. Had it had an attachment to that, had it had an ahankaric, desirous, karmic experience out of it, he would have had the prarabdha. Then he would not have had another fruit coming. He will only be having the same fruit. Why? Because he has attachment to that fruit. Whether it is dried up or whether it is spoiled or whether it is green or whether it is grey, he will only hold it back. He will never have another fruit. Will it have another fruit? Till the time he sheds this fruit. Till the time he sheds this fruit, another fruit will not come. You understand? So what is that? If he holds on to this, what happens? Prarabdha. Prarabdha on our unnecessary burden. Is it not? Because that fruit will be of no use to anybody. It's a prarabdha. Is why I told prarabdha is a burden. You understand? To prove that I told all these things. That prarabdha is a burden. Unnecessary burden. It's not a necessary burden. Some are necessary burdens. But this is an unnecessary burden because which will never pay you. Keeping a dried fruit in the tree, who will enjoy it? It's an unnecessary burden only. Is it not? Same way what we do in our life. The prarabdha karma. So, why we are born again? In order to detach the dried fruit from the branch, so that new fruit can be created. And that new fruit should be thoughtfully designed if there is consciousness and intelligence. Jnana Margam, this is Jnana Margam. Once you have the understanding of the Jnana Margam, it's wonderful, because then there will be no sliding back. That's why Maharishi is explaining through the physical small experiences, you see. Unless one understands these physical experiences, the greater part of the attainment of the transmigration, attainment of the Brahmatattvam, Brahmajnanam, to be merging with the Brahman, cannot be understood, cannot be perceived. Only ahankara will increase. That's why Shvetaketu, because he did not understand all these things, Shvetaketu got the ahankara of the jnanam. With that ahankara of the jnanam, when he has become proud, he went to the king, and the king asked those. How many questions? Three questions he has asked, or I think so. So asked him, you tell me these answers for this. So he could not answer these. Why? Because he did not study that. This is how all these things have started. So we are also doing the same thing. So last class we said about the tree. Why he has explained about the tree is because tree is a very good example. That's why he has taken the tree. He doesn't create any deviation from the principle. That is why he is every season he could give you the fruit. Why? Because he doesn't have any attachment. We have explained about the non-attachment, about the bees taking honey from the flower, and the fruit detaching from that. We have explained all these things. Yes. So prarabdha is that. We have to undergo the prarabdha. Why? Because we have executed it. We have done that. Yes. Even though it was unnecessary. but one has done it. Having done it, in order to rectify it and bring it to the right position, a punarjanma or a repetition of, actually what is punarjanma? Rebirth is nothing but a repetition of the same karma again in order to finish it. That's why we called it as punarjanma. We always misunderstood the Upanishadic and Vedic meaning of the rebirth. We always felt that it is the Sharira's birth is known as rebirth. It is not that. It's not Sharira's birth is a rebirth, even though generally today we have that perception of that idea. But it is absolutely not that. Rebirth in the sense that, or punarjanma. Punarjanma of what? Punarjanma of the desire to execute that karma and finish it is called punarjanma. Not for the Sharira. In order to fulfill the karma. Why the Sharira? Purpose of Sharira is what? To karma. So what is that punarjanma? Whom is he addressing punarjanma as? Punarjanma of the desire, punarjanma of the ahankara, or punarjanma of the bodham, punarjanma of the consciousness for executing and exhausting that karma. If it is punarjanma, after punarjanma it is the ahankara that has been reborn, repetition of karma will be there. But in punarjanma, if it is the intelligence or the jnanam that has been reborn, then fulfillment of karma is there. Both are punarjanma, is it not? That's why I told you in the last class, have you heard? I should not ask those questions, no? That's right. That's right. There are certain questions we should not be asked. Have you studied? Have you heard? Have you contemplated? These questions should not be asked by the Guru to disciple in Kali Yuga. I have told an example of the rain and standing in the shelter. How long should you stand in the shelter? Even though it is happy, pleasurable, it has a restaurant, it has a mall, it has an entertainment section, it is everything in that shelter, because only you got into it only to protect from the rain, but your destination is somewhere else. That destination which doesn't have an air condition, no mall, no shopping center, no entertainment, there is only a thatched roof. That is where you are going. But in between you got this shelter to save from the rain. I told this example. Whatever is there, you have to, till the rain is there, you can enjoy the shelter. I don't say close your eyes, don't have entertainment, have entertainment. The moment the rain stops, the moment. If you delay one moment, that one moment is a prarabdha. That one moment of delay is a prarabdha. For that, the rebirth has to be done in order to finish it. Because the purpose is to save from the rain. So the moment rain stops, you have to reject it. As the tree rejects the fruit at the right time. After ripening it, if it is not plucked, it is not taken, at the right time, come, detach from the stem, that's all. Now, see, whether it is pleasure, whether it may be giving good fragrance, it may be giving, lot of birds coming and sitting on him. Birds will be singing, and the tree might be enjoying that songs only because of this fruit, thinking that if he tries to keep it, what will happen? As I told you, it becomes a prarabdha. Immediately you should reject it. That's what I told, that this is what you have to register in your mind. Contemplate it, see, meditate on that. How will you release from that burden? This is called fulfillment of karma. If you stay even for a minute there, what happens? That 1 minute is because of your ahankara projecting the desire to stay there, is it not? Because I am enjoying that, the mall and the entertainment center. So let me enjoy. Who is that me? The one who is guided by the indriyas and mana. That's the me. The one who is guided by the indriyas and mana is the me who is enjoying it. So the enjoyment will remain only till the indriyas and mana is there. Once it is not there, enjoyment is not there. Death. Whereas the jnanam that is prevalent, he says that I had only intention of passing the time. I didn't want to get wet, that's all. No attachment to it. I have gone through it, no problem. I just wanted to do that. Studied what is happening there. The moment rain stops, he passed off to his destination with his devotion and dedication. This is called devotion and dedication. Once you have got devotion and dedication, you will not have ahankara. Once you have ahankara, you don't have devotion and dedication. It's very clear from this example. If you have got ahankara, you will stay back in the mall. If you have got dedication and devotion, you can easily reject the mall. It's not, and walk. No entertainment is necessary. So in order to reject that ahankara, in order to avoid, evade and push through the ahankara, the knowledge, the jnanam is necessary. Then only the dedication and devotion, bhakti and shraddha, we call it. That bhakti and shraddha, if it comes, ahankara automatically goes off. So Bhagavan said that bhakti and shraddha should come. Like a tree, like a honeybee, like anything, if that bhakti and shraddha is there, the ahankara will automatically go. And if the ahankara is there, he will only try to fulfill repeatedly, making you execute that karma which is a burden to you, prarabdha to you. The other is that consciousness which is created by the Prakriti also. That is why there is a word in creation of the world. There is a word in the Upanishadic statement. It is there. He willed it. That's the word they use. You remember? He willed it. Through his will it has happened. He willed it to happen. He willed. So that the creation, existence has happened. He willed it. This term has been used. He willed. What is that he willed? This is called, suppose Bhagavan willed, suppose he says. It's not a desire of, even though we can translate that unwanted word. Of course, it's only for our mind. Desire of the Bhagavan was the cause of the creation of the existence is what somewhere something has been told. But here, the he willed it, then the existence came. Somewhere it's said. Even in, you will find in Bible and all that, he willed it. Here, even Upanishad also says he willed it. He willed it. So what we understand? Oh, it's Bhagavan's desire. जो ईश्वर चाहते हैं वही होता है. We have got a lot of misunderstandings on that. Even though the word came from he willed it actually. This chahna has been put as a physical term for us. That's a problem. Bhagavan has no chahna there. Why? Because the desire is not there, because desire is again created by the unfulfillment or feeling insecure or incomplete. When one feels incomplete, then only a desire is created, is it not? To make you complete. Unfortunately, how to desire we do not know. We want to complete, that's the reason. We want to complete ourselves is the reason why we have desire. But we do not know how to desire is why it turns out to be ahankarik desire. It's only satisfying the ahankara. To know that, how to desire, so that, as I told you, what is the process? Desire is the one pushing the karma to execute, and karma creating result, and the ahankara getting satisfied, or if it is the jnanam, the karma getting dissolved. Through the jnanam, a karma is done, karma is dissolved. That's why Upanishad said, when you are executing a karma, it should not be thought as a karma executed, so the karma is exhausted. There's no karma. When you do a karma, then only the karma bhala will be there. When you don't do a karma, then karma bhala will not be there. So when you are executing a karma, you should be knowing that it is not a karma. Now, how can we understand this? How can you do it? Even though we have told it, yes. Jnanam has to come. Dedication and devotion has to come. Shraddha and bhakti has to come. So that the ahankara has to go. So you will automatically understand what is the meaning of executing a karma without naming it as a karma, without stamping it as a karma, without projecting it as a karma, without defining it as a karma, without extracting and detracting as a karma. Everything is there. Because we are doing karmas for all these things. When you are doing it for a purpose, no? When you are doing it for a purpose, it is a karma. When you are just doing it, it is not a karma. He willed. Bhagwan created Mahabharata Yuddha. It's he who has created. He willed it. For what? Not for his ahankara satisfaction of Bhagwan, is it not? Like we do all the things for our satisfaction. Bhagwan did Mahabharata Yuddha, killed somebody, protected somebody, not for his satisfaction or not to project his strength. Bhagwan need not to project his strength to and show it to some ordinary creatures that look, I am strong. A strong person, jnani, great man, has he to prove that he is a jnani to a person who is ignorant? Is it necessary? So Bhagwan, is it necessary to project his strength to others? No. That means what? If he is doing it, not for himself. You understood? So his karma was for the benefit of the peace of the universe. Adharmam has to be removed, is why Bhagwan did it. So when an intelligence, when the bodham or when the consciousness executes a karma, it is for the benefit of the universe, not for the individual. This process can be understood when I know that I am no more an individual. Then only this can come. Is it not? See, it's all interlinked. You understood where I am going? So the aham, what we are talking about, the aham, should be understood properly. Who is this aham? It is the same sap which is going through the stem and to the branches and to the leaves and the fruit and the flowers and the root. Is the prana or the atman of the tree. It is the same vibrations or spandana. It's the same spandana. All over is there. That is our Jivatma. Jivatma is not only here and here, is it not? Jivatma is. Each and every movement is done by our Jivatma, not by our physical body. We call it as a nervous system and energy and this, that and all. Who is that? All that. Atma. Let the Atma function. When it is not necessary, a part is not necessary to execute your karma, that goes off. Somebody born blind. That is what is the experience necessary for him. Prana doesn't go to the indriya of the eye, but he has to execute his karmas without seeing. That indriya is not there, we call it as a prarabdha. When some system in our body functions or not functions, they are all happening. Could anybody stop it till today? How many healing systems have come? How many medicines have come? How many things have come? But could you make any progress on that? Then why is it happening? Yes. Again it is a karma. Each and everything that is happening, everything is happening. So if we have dedication and devotion, see, these things have to be understood. That is why Jnana Margam is very important. Many of them could get the Jnanam after Tapasya. Many have understood the Jnanam, then did Tapasya, like Adi Shankaracharya. Maharshis, Tapasvis and Jnanis. Many have did Tapasya and revealed the Jnanam. Many who could understand the Jnanam, then revealed, then gone into Tapasya. See, could easily do the Tapasya. That's why Jnana Margam. That's why Bhagavan has pronounced the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, so that let him gain the Jnana Marga through which he can attain the Parabrahma Sakshatkaram. In Jnana Margam, everything comes. Karma, Bhakti, Sannyasa, everything is Jnana Marga. Everything together. Jnana Margam is not only learning, many have misunderstood this proposition. Jnanam is not only learning Upanishad and explaining the Tattva of Vedic science and Upanishad. Yes. Karma, from there the Jnanam that comes, the Vanaprastha, from there the Jnanam comes. From the Sannyasa, the Jnanam comes. And from the Upanishadic studies, from the Jnanam comes. From everything, Jnanam comes. See, put together is all Jnanam only. That what you have experienced is Jnanam. That's all. Jnanam is why we are understanding Jnanam as only reading and writing. What is Jnanam? Jnanam is consciousness, consciousness. From karma I am deriving consciousness. From vairagya I am deriving consciousness. From vanaprastha I am deriving consciousness. From sannyasa I am deriving consciousness. They are all jnanam only. So actually when you look at it, even though the bifurcation has been made for the purpose of just to understand, make people easily follow a particular track every time they choose, these divisions have been made. Otherwise, everything is Jnana Margam. Even doing tapasya without knowing anything is also Jnana Margam. How did he get an intuition to do tapasya? Who has told him? Who made him understand? If he has understood, that's Jnanam. If he has not understood and doing tapasya, is Jnanam. Are you getting it? Let us not get misled by this. No. These are all bifurcations, you see. Like Chhandogya Upanishad, Brihadaranya Upanishad, and this Upanishad, and Ishavasya Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. Why so many Upanishads? All are Jnanam. Everything is Jnanam. Why they have been divided? To make us understand through different ways. It's called karma. Karma yoga. let's start. So the purpose we have to understand very clearly. So it's not simple. So it is the prana that is traveling through us. If I am moving a finger, if I am talking to you, Upanishad, it is neither my buddhi nor my ahankara. It is nor my capacity of education, nor my intention, nor my own capacity, nor my own strength, nor my own power, not my own intelligence that is speaking. Actually, what is speaking? It is the Parabrahman who is speaking, Paramatman who is speaking, who is the Atma who is speaking, is making you speak. The tattvas of Parabrahman. Otherwise, how one is supposed to know all this? How it comes, from where it comes, this flow. Can anybody by heart learn it and then tell this? Is it possible? It's impossible. Brahman. It is again the Atma who is functioning. So, everything. So, this I am relating to the classes, 3-4 classes ahead before I spoke about that what is there. Everything is, everything happens. We are not doing it. Only thing we are disallowing to happen is our problem. That is why we are in trouble. Allow it to happen. Allow, as I told you in the last class, allow the tree to grow as it is from the seed. Don't induct your knowledge into that, putting manure and the unwanted things which will grow, which will make the tree grow unproportionately and will give you fruits unproportionately. Yes, same way. Let things happen because we have the capability of doing everything with all the power, with all the understanding, with all the knowledge one is born. No. What we are learning here, education or learning here is only to survive depending upon the kala. In water we have to swim, in land we have to walk. Yes. When you are, when there is a storm, you have to hold on to something. When you are lying down, you have to lie down. When you are walking, you have to stand up. This we have to learn. This is only for the purpose of the survival, depending upon the situations. Some are walking on the 4 legs, some are walking on 2 legs. Different experiences. They are all, so education or whatever we are learning, or clothes, this, that, or whatever we are doing, they are all not meant for the jnana. It's only facilities provided to you to survive in this present circumstances from time to time. That's why it is changing. The houses are like this today. Houses were something different earlier. Houses will be different afterwards. Depending upon necessity, the houses automatically gets changed. It's not who changes it. Changes. Because one human being finds his own comfort and facility. Right? So, allow it to happen. Allow that to happen. That's what we say, that listen to inner voice, somebody said. No? What is that listening to inner voice? Allowing it to happen. You cannot listen inner voice. Outer voice only you can listen. For inner voice there is no term called listening. No, how can you listen? That's not possible. There is no loudspeaker kept there. It means, the term has been used like that. It's only that allow it to happen. Listen means follow that, obey that, listen. That's called Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. When you have the inner knowledge, that is what is instigating you to listen to Upanishad. No? When you are listening Upanishadic explanations from a guru, your inner jnanam, or your inner self relates with the jnanam into that. When it is directly related with the jnanam, what happens? It enhances its position. It grows because you are enhancing it, reconfirming it. It is merging with that. It's not different. What I mean, why I am saying this, I am making you understand what do you mean by, what I mean by allow it to happen. Allow that Atma's instructions to happen. What does it mean? How can you do it? You say that inner voice cannot be listened, then how can I do it? Is a question. The answer is this. Your instinct inside you wants you to listen to such things. When it is a truth, it synchronizes with that, it merges with that. When it merges, when that what is listening from the Guru, when the explanation, if it is the truth according to the Brahma Tattva, Brahma Jnana, the Atma absorbs it. And when it absorbs it, how can it absorb it? Because it synchronizes it. Okay? Then it enhances its position. Enhancement is that getting the karma mukti, enhancing the jnanam. Okay. So there is Atma Samtrupti. After listening to people who are really spiritual, when they listen to spiritual instructions or spiritual talks from the Guru, some kind of peace prevails. You cannot explain it. No. What is that some kind of peace prevails it? Because Atma enhanced with the jnanam, that which is because Atma has the same jnanam inside. It's not new. But when it is listening to that, what happened? It enhances its position from the karmic entanglement that is surrounded by. He gets released from the karmic entanglement surrounded by, synchronizes with his own nature. His own means Atma's nature. When he synchronizes with his Atma's nature, he forgets the karma around him. So you get an absolute peace. When there is a karma, then there is no peace. Then he gets against pleasure, happiness. If that what you are listening is contradictory to the Atma Tattvam or the Brahma Tattvam or Brahma Jnanam, and there is a conflict, then you will not get peace. Then you have doubts, questions, then you have problems, then you have disruptions, then you don't have peace. Okay? Is how you will listen to the inner self. That's all. This is an automatic process. Listening is not done by you. When you gain the practices of these, that's why spiritual texts have been made. So when you follow these things, what happens? Your inner self will automatically gets entangled and attracted by that, synchronizes with its own svabhava. Because that bhava and this bhava, when it is both are same, it becomes the svabhava of you. When that becomes a svabhava, that which is an abhava outside you, which is a karma abhava, will be going away. In svabhava, there cannot be any abhava. Abhavada is scarcity, is it not? So in svabhava, there cannot be any abhava. When there is abhava, it is incomplete. Alright? Then the Atma is not Atma. Atma is complete. Why? Because there is no abhava in this. Who has got abhava? My ahankara, my desire, my buddhi, my sarira has got abhava. When it is svabhava, there is no abhava. That's why in bhakti and shraddha, when it is there, there is no abhava. He doesn't bother what is he wearing, what is he eating, in which plate he is eating, is it golden or it is a silver or stainless steel, or it is, what is it, coral, is it from an expensive dinner set or it is individually bought plate. Both have difference. A dinner set only will be nice, you see, because then only I can digest. Yeah, because it's expensive. Is it ported or imported or exported? Which Ted is that? If we have all these specifications, what happens? It is abhava. In swabhava, he doesn't bother. No? That small leaf. There is no difference. The other day we were discussing with some people, just casual talks we were talking, and said that how a poor person, is more compassionate than a rich man, you see. Wealthy, I mean by wealth, rich, and not rich in the jnana. There was a beggar, somebody was talking, we were all talking, but I liked it, you see. It's a beggar. There was a man who was asking many people, give me some alms. Nobody was giving. We all are wealthy people, a lot of money. Nobody gave him anything. But when he has got a piece of bread or roti or whatever it is, when he started eating that roti, it seems one dog by the side sit and looking at him like that. So they took a piece of bread, gave it to the dog. Who? This man, who is hungry already. He got only one roti. Out of that, he is hungry, but still, he took one piece and gave it to the dog. The dog ate it and he started also eating. Again, dog looks at him, then whatever he had, half of it he is giving, and again, other half he eats. You see, what happened here? What is the common in both of them? What is common in both of them? Actually, he did not look at the dog. I was just trying to analyze that dialogue, even though it was a casual talk. I was trying to analyze it. Why did he give that roti to the dog when he looked at him? He could have eaten it quietly and the dog would have gone. What is common? There is something common in them, that's why he could give it. Isn't it? See, there has to be something in common for us to share. Is it not? That's called sharing. If there is something is not common, how can we share something? There has to be something in common. What is common in both of them?
Hunger.
Hunger is common. Neither he is a dog nor he is a beggar. Both of them are hungry Atmas. Okay. You understood now? You see, it's a great principle I am talking. You see. He has identified only hunger in that. If he thought he is a dog, he would not give it. Let me tell you. If he thinks he is a dog, he will not think. That's why a man who has already eaten, he will think that as a dog, but the one who has not eaten, he will not think as a dog. Why? Because both of them have one quality, that is hunger. That is what brought them together. He is just feeding a hungry soul. That's all. He has not identified him as a dog. You got my point. So, when? I know you have not got it. When you have dedication and devotion, when Shraddha and Bhakti is there, when you have got the Upasana and Nididhyasana, and another person or the disciples are there, suppose there are 10 disciples, 100 disciples or 1000 disciples, doesn't make any difference. When each one has desire, when each one has got the Shraddha and Bhakti, when there is Upasana and Nididhyasana. Upasana and the Nididhyasana, when it is there, what happens? There is no difference between guru, disciple, and one disciple to the other disciple. All are absolutely jnanam only. All are absolutely that divya atma only. Everything is divya atma. That's all. Is there a difference there? There is no difference. That is called the atma. So atma is not separate. Atma is one. That's called Paramatma. This consciousness has to come. That's called Shraddha and Bhakti. Unless this difference is not, and I am alone, I am the one who is enjoying, I have to get this for satisfaction of my ego, then we cannot enjoy that. We cannot have it. That is called the ego. Then it is prarabdha. For one who has got the prarabdha, there is nothing called sancheta. Unless the prarabdha is over, what is sancheta karma? Sanchita karma is not there. Prarabdha, as I told you, tree has to make the ripened fruit fall down, then only another fruit will come. If you keep this, it's a repetition, even though we may call it as a sanchita karma, agami karma. There is no agami karma. Actually, you are repeating the same thing. How can you call it as agami karma? Even though it may come later, it is not really agami karma. We call it as agami karma because it has to be repeated again. Class 10 में fail हुआ तो you have to repeat class 10. How can it be a higher class? Yeah, I can say that I am knowledgeable. Instead of all other students have studied only 1 year, I have studied 2 years. I have become more knowledgeable. Can it happen? No, it's not done. See knowledge. So this is what our janmas also. We are also having the same number of janmas. What happened? Repeat. Even though we call it as agami karma. Okay. Next year, okay, we call it. So Bhagavan said, the consciousness, the awareness of this truth is not simple. Even though it's all simple things what we spoke. But the principle behind is very high. This jnanam has to be evoked in you, I see. Unless that is there, unless you meditate on this, tapasya on that. Tapasya is not closing the eyes and sitting alone is not tapasya. Being absolutely one with that is called the being, is called the tapasya. That's tapasya. Tapasya, not sitting, closing the eyes and sitting. What is it? I may be thinking so many things closing the eyes. Is it tapasya? Tapasya on one truth, tapasya on that jnanam, tapasya on that. While walking, while eating, while sleeping, everything, we are conscious of that truth, of that dedication and devotion, shraddha and bhakti. My ahankara will definitely go. If I got shraddha and bhakti, ahankara will go. There is no place where there is light, there is no place for darkness, we say. Same way where there is shraddha and bhakti, there is no place for ahankara. Once ahankara goes, it's a chain reaction. Then the karma is not there, karma bhala is not there, prarabdha is not there, rebirth is not there. Then only karma mukti is there. So in the fourth shloka, which is the last shloka of the 11th, 6:11:4, Evameva khalu somya vidvidi vacha jivapetam pavake kalikilida kiledam mriyate na jivo mriyata iti saya yesho animai tada atmamidam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo iti bhuya eva mam bhagavan vijnanamaitviti tatha सोम्येति हेवाच इत्येकादशखण्डः समाप्तः. Hey Soumya, this surely dies when separated from the individual soul, but the soul does not die. Evameva khalu Soumya, it cannot die, it is sarvavyapi. Vidvedi evacha jiva apetam vava khaledam priyate. That which is this subtle essence, all this God that has the self, that is the truth. For it is seen that a man who still has some works unfinished completes it after having woken up from deep sleep, remembering. This residual work of mind remains unfinished. And from the fact that no sooner are the creatures born than they hanker after the breastfeeding and have fear, etc., it is understood that they possess memory of the experiences of the breastfeeding and suffering in the past lives. Moreover, since rites like Agnihotra, etc., have some purpose to survive it for us. How these memories of breastfeeding and fear and those emotions are all there inherent as soon as they are born. It is there from the experience of the past only. It's a repetition of that karma. That what is the Sancheta karma. So, as I told you, karma, that two divisions of karma, identify that one with the self, ego satisfaction of the karma, one is the jnana. So the jnana has to be there in executing the karma. This consciously one has to be practicing it, otherwise it has no meaning actually. It will be appearing as a very simple thing to, insignificant thing in life. But when you take it, it will be a great achievement actually. Then only the transmigration takes place. Otherwise, just remain in the status of transition, that is not that. Transmigration has to take place. So, that is why Bhagavan said, Vyagraha iti Vyagraha, Simho iti Simha. That what he called as a Vyagra will be born as a Vyagra. That who is born as a Simha is born as a Simha. It is not identified, as I told you, it's not Vyagra and Simha. How you think and how you behave, you are born like that, is what he mentioned there. We say no. If you think horse, horse. If you think donkey, donkey. That's so like so that phrase has been used for Vyagra Simha iti. So in chapter 12, so 6, 12, see 1. He was not satisfied with the probably he was not completely satisfied with the teachings of sage Uddhalaka. So Shvetaketu tells him that, hey Bhagavan, he understood what has been told is truth. Hey Bhagavan, will you please clarify it more? Like we all have the same thoughts. Clarify it more. How is it possible from one Atma and so rebirth can be done? How it can be repeated, karmas can be repeated? I don't understand. Aap usko, please repeat it. So, Maharishi, there what happens? He says in the 12th shloka, when you read, you get little more ideas. That's why I'm reading the Sanskrit shloka again. Vyagrodha phalamada Ahareti idam bhagava iti bindviti bhinnam bhagava iti kimatra pashyami tyannavyam ivema dhana bhagava ityasa mangaikam bindi vibhinna bhagava iti kimatra pashyami iti na kinchana bhagava iti. Hey Bhagavan, how is it possible? Vyagro Akha Bhala Mata. How is it? The same thing is being born. How is it possible? Why it is happening like that? Whatever I thought, I am born with that only, to that fulfill that purpose. How is it happening? How can this connection, what is its meaning is that, how is it connected from my past life and this? How is it coming? So, Bhagavan is, the Acharya, the Bhagavan, Saint Uddhalaga is explaining that. Nyagrodha phalam ata aharet nyagrodha phalam ata idam bhagava iti bhindidi bhinnam bhagavah iti kim atara. From this fruit, how from the phalam, how it can, the tree can come, all the characteristics in the tree, how is it possible from that? It seems there is a big banyan tree in front of the Kudira there. So, banyan tree is very large and then, the fruits are very small, Thousands of them, they fruit. So, he told Uddhalaga, I do one thing. You go and get one fruit from that banyan tree. We went there. Idam Bhagava, here is that. Here is a fruit. Hey Bhagavan, Idam Bhagava. So, Maharishi said, Bhindidi Bhinna. You make it, split it. Bhindidi Bhinnam Bhagava. I have done it already. Then he says, Kim atra pashyasiti. What are you seeing in it? Kim atra pashyasiti. Now what do you see inside that? Anvya. I'm seeing small granules in that. Very small granules. That's it. We all have seen that, no? All tiny atomic seeds are there. How small they would be. You can contrast the smallest that grey granule. You compare with the big banyan tree. How can one relate it? It's very difficult, no? So granules are there. Even then Sant has told Uddhalaga, said, bring that granule, take out the granule, showed him that this is the granule, split it. He said, it's very difficult, it is slipping off my fingers, so small. Somehow with his tactics and all that, he managed to split it. When he split it, then again he asked, what do you see inside? He said, nothing. Or again split it 2-3 times. Then a point came when he cannot do anything more. So he said, what is that, what you are seeing inside that? He said, now there is nothing. Earlier it was granules and then gradually now there is nothing. So Maharishi said, I do not see. He says, I do not see anything inside. So Maharishi said, our naked eyes cannot see what is inside there in that little seed. There is a jelly. Actually, there are some liquids inside. There is a jelly-like thing inside. Very tiny, invisible essence inside that seed. It's very semi-liquid like substance. We may not be able to see it with our powerful microscope. There is no solid, hard substance there inside in that little seed. So he says, do you know, my boy, that it is this liquid, that semi-liquid sap is the one what you get when you cut the tree in that branch. This is the Atma of the tree. From this only that big banyan tree has come. In this sap, there is prana. And in this, there is ghataka, various ghatakas or there various stages of the tree has been, incorporated in this liquid. From this only the big stem comes first. Then the branches come. It knows when the branch to come. When the leaves have to come. Not that, on the first day there will be leaves. How one shoot comes, then how it spreads, when the branches come, how it has to grow, the branches and the stem, how it has to grow, how much it has to grow. All these things are there in this liquid. You cannot see it, you cannot study it, you cannot learn it, but everything is incorporated in this small liquid, semi-liquid. In this, everything is there. All the knowledges are there prevalent. When the tree has to fruit, whether the fruit should be sweet, sour or a mixture, everything is incorporated here. If you just plant this seed, this is the sap, this is the Atma, which is spread all over the tree, big tree, even though it is very much minor in quantity and quality, which you cannot even see through the eyes. But this is the one which is spread all over the tree. So long this is there throughout the tree, all over the tree will not dry up. The day it decides to withdraw from the tree or any part of the tree, that prana is left from there. You might think that how it multiplies this much of quantity, how it can spread such a huge tree. This is not even not even one a fraction, thousands of 1,000 of grams. It's not even so much, how it can spread all over this. That's the thing. This is what is called the secret rahasya of the Prakriti. You take that and taste it, take that sap and taste it, see the same thing. It is same. There will be no difference at all. So he says, terribly large tree grows from this little speck of jelly, which cannot even be seen with the eyes. Now look at this miracle. Have faith in what I say and go into the deeper profundity of this analogy of mine. He says that Saint Uddalaka told him that this is the truth. Now, as I told you, that only when you let it happen, you just plant the seed and let it grow from the bhumi. When you interrupt it to growth, then only it will grow different. If it allows it to happen, just grows as it's supposed to. Yes, is it not? Nowadays what we do, we have that, what do you call it?
Hybrid. Hybrid, genetically it's more.
You cut one tree, this
Grafted.
Grafting, yes. Grafting you do. Now what happens? You don't get a seed from that. Do you get it? The grafted one will only flower or fruit only once. From that seed when you plant, it is a different one which comes out. No, you won't get the same fruit. No, it won't get it. So we do all sorts of these things. So what happens? That is only an ego satisfaction, which is a temporary fulfillment of the desire, one mango with another mango tree joined together, you will get a different shape and different taste of mango. But that seed when you plant, you will get only another, something else will come out. You won't get the same thing. Whereas the tree which is normally allowed it to happen, the same seed is planted. Any number of times this repetition happens, the same taste, same mango, same color, same flavor you will get. Right? One is that Atma which has got inherent capacity of it. Another is an ego satisfaction which is temporary. Yes, you will get it. So what happens? You don't get the purpose is not served. It is called the karma phala has to be enjoyed. This is what I have been telling. Yes. So what happens? When you manipulate and manifest it, that what is manifested, result of manifestation only, you will get it. But if you allow it to happen, what happens? You will get the seed of that particular mango of whatever you XYZ you call it. You plant it, you will get the same mango. There will be no difference. You should not interrupt with its growth by doing your own manifestations on that. That's all. Alright? Same way, if we are born, our Atma, when it is born in this sarira, to execute its karmas and fulfill it, if you allow it to happen, everything will go perfect. If you allow it to happen, everything will go perfect as measured. Every minute will go as it is supposed to go. But we don't allow it to move. In every minute we put a obstacle to it. So what happens? Delays, it creates problem, it causes this. Because we have intelligence. We are not using that intelligence to promote it actually, but only to manifest and manipulate from that and derive something else for the enjoyment of the personal satisfaction, which is called egoistic satisfaction, which projects the desires, and those egoistic desires are the ones which are executing the karmas, not that Atma of your Swabhava is not executing your karma. Your Swabhava is different, that what you are executing is totally different. हम लोग बोलते भी है ना, मन में कुछ सोचा किया और कुछ है, क्योंकि circumstances ऐसा था. There is an excuse for everything. Circumstances is outside you. Let anything be a circumstance. No? What you are supposed to do. The mango tree grows, it grows, whatever may be the circumstance, is it not? At point of time, the same mango comes out. It has no problem. But when we are doing it, we have all sorts of problems. So you allow it to happen. In order to allow it to happen, you should have lot of jnanam, courage, dhairya. What is our problem? Insecurity. If I allow it to grow, suppose if mango tree thinks it's a sweet mango, and not automatically the sweet only will come. But when it is growing, suppose the mango tree thinks, suppose this I create sour mangoes instead of seeds, which has no basis. No, is there any basis of thinking like that? It changes a course. Then what happens? He interrupts its reality, truth. Same way. We, our Swabhava, allow that Swabhava to project you. The Swabhava. When the Swabhava is there anywhere and everywhere, you are the same. There is no difference. For in Bhakti and Shraddha, like as I always said about Lord Krishna and Kuchela, whatever has happened, Kuchela was in his own Swabhava with Bhakti and Shraddha. फटा हुआ कपड़ा है तो ठीक है. It is, why are you looking at it and feeling good or bad about it? I am enjoying it, it's okay, fine. No, I am not bothered about it because he is not bothered about it. He is not eating, okay, not eating. He revealed his Swabhava, he attained the Bhakti and Shraddha. He did not give any importance to other things. That is his Swabhava. But normally what we will think, we instead of executing the Swabhava in the right way, we would like to buy a new cloth. Is it not? Our Shraddha and Bhakti got deviated into personal satisfaction. No? I'm just telling an example. So what happened? Shraddha and Bhakti mein disruption aa gaya. So there is no upasana, there is no nididhyasana. That means you have no faith on the jnanam, you have no faith on the Guru, you have no faith on the Ishvara. That absolute Shraddha and Bhakti. When the Shraddha and Bhakti is there, Ahankara, as I told you, Shiva Shiva. So he said, it is that liquid, so you believe it, that's only you can do it. From that only, if you do not disrupt it, if you just put that seed, this big banyan tree will come. But remember, each and every small part of this banyan tree is the Swabhava of this small liquid. It doesn't have any other Swabhava in it. Whenever particular karma of a particular branch, particular root, particular fruit, particular leaf is finished, the Atma or this particular the fluid will withdraw from this, so it dries off. Not that it dries off just like that. Otherwise you think, you tell me honestly, see, big tree. In a big tree, about 20 branches are there. In that, one branch drying up. We have seen it, isn't it? How is it? We all know that it goes from here, not that, no, it is living in the external. So everything goes from the ground only, it is pulling and distributing. How this nervous system got blocked? Human being, we can understand. We take injections of drug, so it gets blocked. But tree has not taken any injection. How one branch only gets dried up, all others are very fresh, blooming, is it not? Only one. Have you seen it? No, we have seen so many trees like that. And that particular branch's karma is no more necessary. That side, imbalance has to be taken out. So what happens? This fluid, by its own intelligence, that is what is called, he willed it. He willed it to dry. He withdrew the prana from there, dried off. We are coming slowly to the fact when the death comes. These are all preparation for that. So when it is not necessary at the particular point, the voice will go off, the sight will go off, the power of listening will go off gradually. Who? It is according to the Prana and Aathma mixed with the Prana, Aathma directing the Prana to withdraw. That facility has been pulled. Why? Because that experience for you, it is over for this Janma. Now if you want, it has to be repeated. Or if it is exhausted, it's exhausted, finished. See how beautiful. Who made it? Why only one branch dried up? Why suddenly you cannot see? Suddenly you cannot hear? It all happens, is it not? Suddenly some nervous system goes bad. What happened? Oh, he has never been smoking, he has never been drinking, good character, according to us, good character, teetotaler. Everything fine, absolute good food, satvika ahar khane wala, suddenly problem. What happened? According to people, one should not get it, isn't it? But how he has got it? So they say that even such people also can get, they say. That's all. So now let us treat it, forget about why. The cause nobody knows. Who is withdrawing that according to, how is it withdrawn? No. What is the reason? What is the permanent remedy for that? This is only your satisfying your ahankara. What is a permanent remedy? Permanent remedy is that allow it to happen. When the Swabhava is merged with the Jnanam of the Upanishad, the Nidhyasana, that's why Samarpana is required. When Samarpana is done, Ahankara is gone. When Ahankara is gone, you are allowing anything to happen. That Swabhava to act according to its own Swabhava. We have a Swabhava, that you have been incorporated with that Swabhava when you are born, to execute and exhaust that karma. When you interrupt that Swabhava, then only the Abhava comes. Allow that Swabhava function. Hari, let it happen. We don't allow. I am reminded of this when I am seeing an ad. Sometimes I always relate with Upanishad. आप लोग सब देखे होंगे that Upanishad. One small ad is there. One young boy, his father was a bread maker or something like I think what is it called? Bakery. He's in a bakery or something like that. He wanted to study engineering. That young fellow. For some reason or other, maybe money or something like that, he said, IIT में तुम जनी जा सकोगे, you cannot go, don't go for engineering. वैसे factory में आदमी कम है, in my bread making factory, you come and join there, from tomorrow there is no other way. But his Swabhava was what? To be an engineer. He must have seen it. He goes there, in the leisure time, he invents a drone, So one fine morning, he says that, bring the eggs. So the father shouts from the kitchen. The boy from the counter, he says that it is coming. How is it coming? Will it come? Eggs will fly and come or what? He said, yes. He got angry. Father wanted to beat him up, and he got angry because he is misbehaving. So by the time he is coming out, he suddenly saw one drone picking up huge box of eggs and coming there, landed and put it back. So I was just nothing, this is the advertisement. I was connecting it with this Swabhava, What happens, even though he is trying to interrupt that Swabhava, his Swabhava, whether he goes to engineering or not, whether he studies in IIT or engineering college or not, he is an engineer. He created it. Even though it's an idea of that IIN or something he is telling. Idea, internet, something like that. So that is the ad. I have not taken any contract from them. I am not employed by Idea. Please don't misunderstand. Cancel it. I don't need to tell that, in fact. But what I am saying is that his Swabhava is an engineer. Now what happened? He allowed it to happen. हम लोग बोलते भी है ना that that is his taste, that is his one. Allow that Swabhava to happen. When you allow the Swabhava to happen, what happens? There will be no conflicts and contradictions. There is no ego satisfaction there. It's a contentment there. That contentment comes only for the Atma, not for ego. Ego doesn't get contented. Ego will never get contented. Ego will never get satisfied also. It's only temporary status, that's all. So, allow that. But it's very difficult. I know that. It's not a simple thing, even though very easily told. how it will allow. The next moment you think, oh, I will do it. The I only will do it. It's only a will. The desire is created by that I, ahankara. For that only we have to have the Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddha, Bhakti, even though many people are talking about Shraddha, Bhakti. हर जगह पूछो तो हर सत्संग में everybody is telling Shraddha Bhakti. ये श्रद्धा भक्ति कहाँ से मिलेगा? Where to buy? कहाँ से खरीद सकता है? How much it costs? Only a person who has got jnanam will have Shraddha and Bhakti. नहीं तो श्रद्धा भक्ति आएगा नहीं. You go and tell an ignorant person he just to have Shraddha and Bhakti. Poor fellow, he doesn't know. He thinks that folding hands and standing there, hey Bhagwan, hey Bhagwan, hey Bhagwan, is called Shraddha and Bhakti. That is not Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddha and Bhakti is consciously merging with the Jnanam, with the Guru. It's called Shraddha and Bhakti. That's Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddheya. That's Shraddha. And that is Bhakti. That's why Kuchela, with all his Shraddha and Bhakti, he merges with Bhagwan only. He is equivalent to Bhagwan only. Na? Kya ho jata hai? Even Bhagwan serves him. Na? Because he is Shraddha and Bhakti. Allow. So in order to have that jnanam, so that is called the realization. Naiti is realization. Neti. But how many netis we will do? Instead of it, have one understanding, so all the other things will automatically obey. Is what is required. Om Shanti. We will continue section 12, 612. We are on 612.1, we will continue that. Or may go to 612.2.